All right, well, tonight on the show, I've been playing already, if you've heard those beats. If you've been listening to the show for the last, I would say, I don't know, man, probably I started the show, when did I start the show? I think back in, seems like I started in May. When I started it, I think I've been playing these guys' stuff since almost the beginning of the show, but that's because, good music should be played. Good music doesn't really have a shelf life, and that's how it should be. So, I got my mans in here. I got my man Hir-O, and I got my man Noveliss. What up, y'all?
What up, though?
Let me see how y'all sound on the microphones, bro.
Check. What up, though?
Yeah, we'll treat this like we're in the booth, bro. We'll get it right. But I'm not giving no reverb or nothing like that. We're keeping it dry.
Check. Sound good on my end.
Nah, you guys should sound good, man. We got them shears. We ain't got the Fisher Prices. It's cool. That's what I still, I know a lot of cats do podcasts and everything, but man, radio's still something different than podcasts. There's just another feel, and it's another. Everybody's asked me to do a podcast, bro. I just feel like podcasts ain't the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, we do a podcast.
When's your podcast?
What's that?
When's your podcast?
I mean, it used to
whenever you feel like it?
Yeah, basically. Do it every Tuesday. Now it's just kind of whenever we feel like it. But
see, every time I've done a podcast, that's actually my problem right there. It's like you try to get on a schedule, but the schedule don't work because you can do what you want when you want. And it's kind of like, that's why coming here every week, it makes me come here at a certain time.
Yeah, facts.
When I do like a podcast, I swear I'm always off on whatever I do. So, but you guys like doing podcasts?
Yeah.
What do you guys do on it?
So, I mean, if you've heard any of our music, we are both really big into nerd culture. So, we talk about comic books, video games, anime, but we also both are athletes. We both play basketball in college, so we talk sports. Just
talk about everything,
really.
So just like everyday stuff you talk about anyways.
Yeah, basically. I mean, the podcast...
It's all in that realm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The podcast started because when we were recording our early stuff, we would just spend like 2 hours just chopping it up anyways, just about the stuff that we like. And I was like, yo, we should do a podcast.
No, that's what's dope about that is what's dope about podcasts, and I watch a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
The problem with podcasts and music is you can't really play it because of royalties and stuff. It's hard to play like music and like not get shut down by YouTube or something like that, And it's like, I like to play music so much, I want to at least play music in the mix, you know what I'm saying? I want to have, and it's like with podcasts, you can't exactly do that unless you're maybe just playing your own music, or something like that. But it's all good. Anyway, so you guys been mad busy, man. This new album's out right this second, right? I mean, you guys, how long did you put this out? A couple weeks ago? A month ago?
About a month.
What's the name of that album?
Cyberpunk Rhapsody.
What's that all about exactly? I mean, because I went back and listened to a lot of your guys' other music. I could tell this has more of a different concept and more of a different direction than music you guys. What was the one you did before this one? The one.
So I did Vagabond before. I did an EP called Vagabond before Cyberpunk.
And that was the one after that Dixon Hill joint, right?
Yep, and then before that, it was the Dixon Hill joint. Shout out to Dixon Hill. That was a Book of Change.
I like Dixon Hill because he did that Guilty Simpson joint. That was sick.
Dixon Hill's really dope.
Dixon Hill's really dope. Is he from like Arizona or somewhere? Where's he from?
He's from out west. Arizona.
Yeah. But he got some beats, bro.
Yeah, he's really dope. He's a good guy too, man.
But from listening to them albums, you know what I'm saying, to what you got here, it's definitely a different direction as far as like the concepts of the songs.
Yeah, definitely. I always, the way I explain the new album, Cyberpunk Rhapsody, is, the artwork tells the same story that the music does. It's basically, if you look at the cover, it's a samurai being lifted off a battlefield by a spaceship. And, the way I explain it is, is this abduction, or is this a warrior being taken off his current battlefield and taken to somewhere different for a new journey, you know what I mean? And with this project, that's really what Hir-O did for me. I was kind of a little burnt out on music and didn't know if I wanted to continue.
You say you have a lot of music, bro. I mean, a lot.
So I didn't know if I wanted to continue, and then Hir-O kind of came with not only his sound but just his art direction and his beats and his sound, and he records me and he mixes my stuff and he masters my stuff and we just kick it so much. So this is really the first thing that we've done where his hands are just all over it. You know what I mean? So
this is like 100% him. You on the boards, Hir-O, right?
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, what you produce with these days?
Yeah, so I use, this is a funny question, and the reason why is because I use FL Studio.
There's nothing funny about that.
No, well, hold on, wait. I'm gonna tell you why, because I know I don't look it, but I've been around for a little bit. And when I first came into the Detroit beat scene, it was like 2010, 2011, I literally had well-known Detroit artists laugh and discourage me from using. They were like, bro, come on, you can't be using that. You're talented, you can't be using that.
But that's because they weren't making the beats. They didn't know.
And I tried to tell them, listen, I'm still learning, I'm still young, but I'm very confident in what I'm doing.
So was that a crack version? What did you have? What was that? FL9, FL10?
The first one that I had was FL Express. This was in 2006.
Yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah, but I had a little demo version, and that's what I learned on. So I eventually. I'm an adult now with a career, and I'm a responsible adult.
Right.
I purchased
the real version
of FL finally.
Which version?
I got FL, the big one. FL,
okay, you got the all blown out plugins.
XL.
Is that the
Producer XL?
Producer XL.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
but
you.
Here's the other P. And I mean, this ain't no secret sauce because I'm confident that I do the style of music that I do, and I feel like I kind of can stand on my own there. But I actually use Machine inside of FL. I use Machine as a plugin,
right?
As a VST inside of FL. So I do a lot of the chopping, a lot of the drum arrangement in Machine, and I use FL as the overall DAW.
Yeah, because Machine is a MIDI production, a piece of equipment, so you can trigger anything in it.
For sure.
Plus, FL Studios has came so far in the world, it's ridiculous.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, I remember when people used to laugh at you if you used FL.
You don't call it Fruity Loops anymore. It's FL Studios.
FL, right, exactly.
For real.
Yeah, no. I, as a matter of fact, I was at, my cousin has a... Bro. So my cousin has a studio, and I was hanging out with some of his young dogs, and I asked them what they produced in, and they said whatever, and I told them I produce in Fruity Loops, and they were like, what you mean FL? And I was I guess what they call it now, but
at least they can't correct with it. You know what I'm saying? They knew the proper terminology.
It's the standard now, bro.
But it's also, man, the way music has become, it don't matter what you use.
Thank you.
Because it
really doesn't matter.
Bro, I've seen some people do crazy stuff. I mean, you remember that cat Dizzy Rascal out of the UK? He used PlayStation. Yeah. What was that called?
Beats or something like that.
Yeah, it was PlayStation Beatmaker or something like that, man. He made a whole album out of it.
Bro, so I did I did a show in Japan with Megaran one time, and there was a beat show, and the theme was people using using just crazy pieces of technology to play their music.
Yeah.
And this one guy's setup was crazy. He was playing beats through a Sega CD,
that's hard,
a Game Boy,
crazy,
and a Dreamcast, and he was using it to.
But he was killing it.
It was insane. I never seen anything like it.
I'm gonna see if I can find this. So when I was in college, I went to school that had a music conservatory. I did not go to the conservatory because they didn't like hip hop. But I got a chance to play around. I got a chance to play around in their music studio, and I took a class there where they used a program called Max MSP, which is basically a programming language for producing.
Okay.
And my assignment was to make a composition, is what they called it, using 3 sounds: a single sine wave, the sound of children laughing, and the sound of somebody taking a bite out of an apple. Those are the only 3 sounds I could use. And boy, I tell you, that beat was so fired. I'm gonna try to find it, bro. But this was when I was in college.
I was gonna say, it sounds like MF Doom about to get on that something like that.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But that's what you can do with music.
For sure.
There is no limitations.
Yeah.
And technology has opened up so many more avenues of like what you can do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, now I'm waiting to hear the first AI album. You know what I'm saying? Like produced. I mean, there are gonna be some crazy beats that come out.
There's a whole track on the record that talks basically about that.
Cyberdyne Systems.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy like that people are doing that kind of stuff. But I don't know how. Would you feel like wrong, like playing like in your car, like just rocking out to AI?
I would never do it.
Would you feel like? But what if you are like you get stumped and you don't know it's AI? All of a sudden you're in this album, you love it.
If that's the case, we're cooked.
Yeah, man. Kanye comes out as an actual robot. Well, I mean, what if Kanye pulls off a mask like Iron Man,
the Terminator,
and all of a sudden we find out that Kanye was really the whole time a straight up.
That would explain so much.
Polyalloy.
That would be awesome, bro.
Liquid metal.
I hope he does become the Terminator.
That would explain so much of his programming must have gone haywire or something.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think something's going on there. So I don't know, man, but we can see it happening. Yeah. No, but that's what you use, man. FL Studios is dope. I mean, it don't matter. There's so much sweet stuff. But so, what do you track everything to? Do you track it all in FL Studios, all the vocals?
No, I don't. I actually did. So you remember Chris Oric back in the day?
Yeah.
Formerly known as Red Pill. Hit him and our record, The Kick. I used FL to track that out, and it sounded good at the time, but I went back and listened to it now.
OG Reverend Knight said malfunctioning.
Now that's one thing that came a long way with all the recording inside of it as far as vocals.
For sure. No, it came a long way. But now, again, like, I don't use no industry standard nothing. I know everybody uses Pro Tools.
Right.
Does not matter what your DAW is. It matters how skilled are you within the workspace. So I actually use Sonar to do all the mixing and mastering. I've mixed all of his last probably 4 or 5 records.
Is that Sony Sonar, right?
No, it's Cakewalk.
Or it used to be Sony, wasn't it?
No, Sony is Acid Pro.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sony Acid Pro. Cakewalk was Sonar.
Sonar, yeah.
But they came out. I remember a long time ago when Cakewalk used to be like one of the leading DAWs at one time.
In like the 90s though.
Yeah, way back.
Like my dad was a musician, he was a pianist, and he used to use Cakewalk to arrange. And I started playing. That's actually how I got introduced to FL, because in his Cakewalk CD, this is for you young kids, we used to get programs on CDs.
Yeah, it's like this thing that looks like a donut, and it played music, and it played data.
So there was a free version of FL Express that I downloaded when I was in 7th grade. That's when I first got introduced to it.
Man, that's an old FL, bro. Yeah. So you've been doing that for a minute.
I mean, I was playing around. Me and my cousin.
So that's how you got into doing. I mean, you got into the software side of music when you started.
Yeah. Because I was blessed. I have musicians in my family. My cousin is Jessica, or not Jessica. She's a friend of the family, but my actual blood cousin is Stephanie Christian.
Okay.
So I was about to call her by a government name, but I don't know if she got that out there, so I won't.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, so I grew up in a musical family. Stephanie Christian, Jessica Caramore was a friend of the family. My aunt was a jazz pianist.
Did you just see Tim Hardaway or something?
Yeah, Tim Hardaway.
You know all kinds of people. You got all kinds of friends of the family,
It was so random. It was so random.
And it was the OG, not the son.
Yeah, it was the OG.
I still let him lace up. I don't know about the kid.
Well, we don't see this year.
I know.
But anyway, so my aunt had a Kurzweil synthesizer that she would play her shows on.
And That's a classic.
Yep. Me and my cousin, my younger cousin, Haas, we would just play around on the keyboard. My dad ended up buying me one when I was, I think, maybe in 7th or 8th grade. And my first experiences making beats was just listening to Timbaland and Magoo and just trying to remake the Timbaland beats on the keyboard. That was how I first started. And then after that is when I discovered the software stuff.
Yeah, and doing a Timbaland beat ain't easy.
Nah.
Timbaland is a different animal.
Yeah, Timbaland, that's my first all-time.
That's his guy.
Yeah, he's the reason why I started making beats.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Timbaland album he produced?
Oh man, what a great question.
What you got?
I don't know if I can pick one. Honestly, bro, I love the Timbaland and Magoo record. Welcome to Our World. I thought that was fire.
The very original record.
The first one. I thought that was fire. I love Super Duper Fly by Missy.
See, that's the very first Missy Elliott Super Duper Fly.
There was a time when Timbaland was just
every song on the radio.
Lacing Justin Timberlake and Nelly Furtado had insane albums.
But that was Justin Timberlake's best music ever
in the early 2000s.
So I'm gonna tell you this.
Crazy.
The beat Ayo Technology.
Bro, is this Angel Outlaw?
Bro, when this came on, I looked at you. I was like, bro, this beat that's playing in the background. This is actually how Noveliss discovered me.
This is off like your instrumental album,
Bro,
The Voyage.
This is from so long
The
ago.
Voyage Home. That's the name of it.
Yeah. So this funny story about this song. Actually, this is like the 5th version of this beat. But this was when I was like in high school, college. I just kept messing around with this same sample. And then once I got to like a level where I was putting my music out for consumption, this was the version that I was at. And it's a sample from an old anime that we both like called Outlaw Star. The ending theme is where the sample came from.
So
and when he
so I love Outlaw Star. It's a pretty obscure anime. So if someone is sampling something from it, that's
where's that from? Where's that anime? Where's that?
Outlaw Star. It came out in when did that
97,
come out? Like late.
Is it American?
No, it's Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah, it's
okay.
anime.
Yep. I figure most good anime is Japanese, ain't it?
And
my opinion, all of it is Japanese.
Yeah.
If it's anime, it's got to be Japanese. That's just my opinion.
And
a lot of people feel different.
But so Outlaw Star is a great anime, and this was I heard this beat around like 2013 maybe. Around that time, when Clear Soul Forces was still, was really just kind of in the beginning stages of our kind of legendary run that we had, and I heard this beat and I said, okay, there's no way that this person named Hir-O sampled, the ending theme from Outlaw Star. So
because you knew what it was.
Yeah, and I used to listen to this beat like crazy. Listen to The Voyage Home like crazy. Then I found out he's from Detroit. I didn't know he's from Detroit.
And he also found out that I wasn't Asian. I thought I was Asian at first.
And then I found out he's from Detroit.
Now you both from Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you guys from the same area?
No. Nah, I haven't lived in Detroit in years.
Okay. But at the time, you guys were both
kids.
No, I mean, I think because
so when I was in college and everything when my music. When my group started really taking off, so I was in school at the time.
And what was that, like 2010, 13, 14?
Around the early, 2010.
By the time I got on the scene, I was already.
Yeah.
So
when did you guys put out that? When did you guys put out that Chips joint?
Oh, Chips that wasn't that long.
No, that was on your later project.
Chips was on Forces With You.
Yeah, that was is that the last album you guys released?
The last album.
Okay, that was like a few years ago.
Yeah, that was 20, probably 17,
pre-Corona,
19 around that time.
Did that
before COVID?
Did like the COVID stuff slow you guys down doing shows? I mean, because you guys before that were doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, COVID pretty much ruined my. COVID was tough.
For me, especially for independent artists, bro. That
COVID ruined my life for about.
I mean,
3 years.
For real, man. Like cats. If you tour overseas or if you go to if you go to a lot of places, man, that messes up people's revenue for real. Or just even have the opportunity to go somewhere.
Oh, somebody said, who's seen Darker Than Black? That's actually another fire, underrated anime. I've seen it. That's a good show. But
you gotta excuse our fans. We trained them well. They're all nerds.
Hey, dude, it's cool with me, man.
But when I heard this Angel Outlaw beat, and I found out Hir-O's from Detroit, then I'm begging my group to rap on this beat. But we were kind of in the middle of working on it was Revo, then it was Gold PP7s after Revo. So I think we might have been working on that. So we were kind of working on.
Who was doing a lot of that production?
Elijah Day. He used to do all most of the group stuff. He did all the group stuff, and then we did the Fab Five with Nameless. Shout out to Nameless. Nameless is really dope.
Nameless, Nameless is dope.
Then we did some stuff with Nameless, and then when I started doing my own music, that was really my chance to kind of reach out and find Hir-O and start trying to make some things work with him.
And you like doing solo music?
Yeah, I don't have a choice now, so.
Right. But it's weird. I mean, when you are in a group, it's a lot more to be a solo artist. You got a lot more stuff that you got to figure out with the song.
That's true. And also, as when you're in a group, you sacrifice a lot of your your creativity too.
You
know
do.
what I mean, it gets everything has to meet a mutual point. So you sacrifice a lot of your creativity and input and individuality when you're in a group. So it's good to get out and explore those.
There's probably a lot of people out there, bro, that you never heard solo before that would probably make great records. They just never got that opportunity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of groups out there that, man, you would probably...
Yeah, I think we all have that member of a group that we really kind of gravitate towards and would love for them to...
Every group's got that, you know what I'm saying, man. But, hey, it's good you're doing what you do now because that's why you guys are working, And, I mean, you recorded the whole album. Do you... I saw Heaven Studios listed on there. Is that where you guys record there? Or what?
So, hold on, I don't want no smoke from Royce.
Okay, so that's your studio.
Shout out to Big Bro.
So you don't want it... Yeah, he don't...
Star Heaven.
Yeah, Star Heaven.
Okay, I saw that, and I said to myself, I don't think it...
No.
No, the first thing I thought with Royce is I can't think of too many artists outside of, like, what Royce does and Kid Vicious and them guys. I don't really hear many other things that are, like, recorded at Heaven Studio.
No. And I didn't, with all due respect to Royce, he's a
That's
OG.
just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence. I have this is a super long story. I have this, like, sort of creative lore in my own.
One person just can't have heaven, bro. That'd be heaven wouldn't be fun then.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
Yeah.
If it's just Royce in heaven.
No.
All right.
It's not Heaven Studios.
All right, I gotcha.
It's Star Heaven. So like,
Star Heaven Studio.
Yeah.
But that's your spot. You mixed, recorded, engineered, all that stuff.
Yep. And that's the crib too, man. So it's not like an open studio. Like I'm at a point now where I'm kind of blessed to be able to do music with the folks that are like in my inner circle. Like I have a career outside of music, so I don't really depend on it for money. So I'm in a unique space where like I can use my home and use my actual crib to bring my friends and my music circle into this space.
If you ain't trying to run a recording studio where you got people coming at block hours, you're good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I still do that from time to time.
Right.
If people need.
But I'm sure there are people
Facts.
You
I'm not
just ain't gonna have cats going live at your studio, blowing up your spot.
I mean, it's literally my house.
Yeah, I know. I feel you, bro.
I'm not having that.
No, I know, man. It's hard to have stuff at the crib. I can't get nothing in my crib. I swear to God. I wish I could build an underground bunker studio.
So no Heaven Studios. Shout out to Hazen Studios is awesome. We've had maybe an opportunity to go there. We've not been there yet.
I've been there a couple times.
Have you?
Oh yeah. I've been there.
I've seen pictures of it.
It's fire.
Yeah, Royce is smart guy. He's a good dude.
I like when cats take their, they take their earnings and put them towards something positive, building a good studio space, you know what I'm saying? Making good product, like good quality product.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, these guys could all just go get a laptop and a computer and do what they're doing.
Yeah,
but they ain't the same.
See, and so that's actually what I learned during this process, right? Like, I've been getting a lot of compliments on the mix, which I really
It sounds clean, bro. It does. I straight up, the first thing I noticed.
Yeah, so, and the reason why is because I had to learn, like, I thought I knew how to mix before. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what I was doing at all. I had to learn. So shout out to LO5, to Carlos Garcia, one of my best friends in this music space. He's an audio engineer. Shout out to Evan Haywood out of Ann Arbor. He used to be a part of Tree City. He's also an engineer. Shout out to Dr. Rod Wallace, who's also an Ann Arbor guy, Ypsilanti guy, who's got some engineering chops. And I just sat down with him like, look, bro, like I need to learn how to actually master a project. And I realized that I was at best, like, and my bad.
He was like, man, I messed up a bunch of your albums. I'm sorry, dog. We can't remix them today, but
the best I was doing was like giving you a really good mix, but none of them were really mastered for real. But the difference in quality, I mean, what I remember when I finally gave it to Noveliss, like the final masters. He don't know nothing about this kind of stuff. I mean, with all due respect. This is not his thing.
Anything on the technical side, I'm asleep.
But you know what, man? That's good because you play your position. Some cats try to get. Hey, some cats.
I tell him.
Yeah, you got to know what.
I'm a caveman. Keeps technology away.
The first thing he said was, bro, he literally was like, I don't know how to explain it, but this sounds way better.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's like listening to Dr. Dre and Griselda or something.
Yeah,
Like all of a sudden you're like, what?
Yeah.
This is a whole nother level of mixing.
And it took, I mean, it made me also realize that I probably didn't.
Mixing is an art, bro. Period.
It's like,
and you'll keep getting. It's something that you're never gonna like totally master.
Yeah.
It's something that you gotta just keep. Look, dude, I've known my man Tone Rizzle since we lived down.
Shout out to Tone.
In the basement in E-Course, dude. Like,
y'all used to live together?
no, but I used to. That's my boy, dude.
Yeah,
like I grew up with them cats. You know
cool.
what I'm saying?
He's super cool.
And I
like
watched him start from like recording cats in the hood, then going to Full Sail, to coming back. And interning at Studio A, then sitting there and watching him over the years get even better and better and better. You know what I'm saying? It takes years. It takes a lot of.
Shout out to Tone. Shout out to Eddie Logics. He's really good.
No, he made that Valid stuff sound beautiful. Like that track which you when we played. We played the bottle joint with Elzai. We were just talking about that track there. I mean, the mix is A1.
Yeah. Shout out to all those guys. Shout out to Elijah Day too. I learned a lot from him as well.
Yeah.
You talk about like, producer peers and like, I feel super confident about my production. Like I feel like, I'm at a place now where I'm not, it doesn't really matter how dope anybody else is because I feel like the sound that I do is unique to me.
Yeah, and you can't get caught up in that either because everybody's mix is different. It's just like every rap is different. Every MC has a different style. Every beat has a different style. Or they should. You know what I'm saying?
And once I learned that, once I got to that point where I just felt confident about like my sound standing on its own and not feeling the need to compare myself to anyone else, I was able to really enjoy how dope some of these other producers are. Like, when I think about folks that really make me...
Who's the producers you dig a lot?
For sure. So, I mean, I got to give a lot of props to Elijah Day. I learned a lot from him. Elijah Day does a really excellent job of... Everything for him is a drum, right? Like...
He MPC...
he uses a lot of different
drums.
He was a machine.
A machine, okay. Because you know how them drums be banging when you hear them. Okay.
With Elijah Day, everything he does, every drum is a drum, every bass line is a drum, every like chord is a drum, right? He's very, very rhythmic, and he does excellent job with doing a lot with like leaving space. So I learned a lot from him there. Vibe sounds super, super dope. We talked about. I mean, obviously you got the legends.
Obviously you said you love Timberland.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm talking about.
But who else? Like who in Detroit right now?
Like within. Yeah. Like who? For sure. Yeah.
Who's that dude that you're?
Yeah. No, I was. Obviously you got the legends like Black Milk. You got 14KT.
14KT is like so dope.
Yeah.
And I still feel like he's underrated.
I agree. You got, even though he's not technically in Detroit now, you got we were just talking Nameless. Super Nameless. And then it would not be complete if I didn't give props to the honorable Reverend Dr. Illingsworth.
Illingsworth's
dope. He hates when I say this, but I told him he was one of the first people that really kind of took me under his wing when I first kind of started making music. And I tell everybody that I graduated from the Dr. Illingsworth School of Beat Making.
Why do I forget the name of his group? What was his
Detroit City.
That's it, Detroit City. It was real simple. It was a Detroit City. But they spelled it. Did they spell city different?
C-Y-D.
Yeah. Because I knew him when he was just doing their beats. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just like coming up, trying to.
He's so underrated, bro. He is an elite.
Shout out to France.
Elite producer, and he's such a good rapper, too, man.
Illingsworth is.
Yeah.
Hey, some cats got that rap in the produce thing. They can just do it.
Shout out to Foulmouth as well, bro. Foulmouth.
That's why I like cats like Big Crit or somebody. Because the guy mixes, engineers, raps, it does it all, and the stuff sounds like you can just tell it's professional. It sounds A1.
Yeah.
You know? And he makes albums. Like, that's what I noticed about you, about Noveliss. You don't have a bunch of just singles. You actually have EPs, albums, bodies of work.
Yeah, and this is something that me and him talk about a lot. As I never just do singles because I really value my art and my music. So if it's not, it's always a big deal to me when I release something because in a shorter, this could be a long story, but just to sum it up, when you create something and then it's a really long process in creating an album, sometimes years, you know what I mean? And then when you release it out into the world, you're just left with this empty feeling. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna be left with this empty feeling, I have to forge it into something where I can present it to the world and not just it be one song and I just throw it.
No, because once you let that album out the door, it's like letting your kid go off to school. That album is gone.
It is.
And now you got to, now it's not.
That's literally
It's how it goes.
Child that we
It really is. You work hard on it, especially.
So I've never really been a fan of just releasing.
I haven't been either, and I know people tell you that's what you should do. That's what it's like. I don't want to hear what you should do. You just do what you need to do.
Facts.
And that's what I noticed about your stuff right away. You know, when I heard what you guys were doing, because I was like, oh, these guys are putting together, and they worked on this. This wasn't something that was just done
that's
in a couple months, in a day, or
Man, everything is a story, man. Like everything is a narrative. Even my instrumentals, like it never really makes the light of day because it usually just gets stuck in my mind. But like I don't even know if I've told you this. Every single beat that I make, there's a story happening, right? Like there's some sort of backstory. There's some sort of narrative of like some world that this beat is taking place in. It's the soundtrack to some event that's happening, whether it's a spaceship battle or like somebody on a journey to find a mythical artifact or something like that. Like there's always a story.
That's cool you see it like that, because I bet a lot of producers just make beats and that's it. They're on to the next beat, or they don't really have something.
Yeah. I'll give you an example of how nerdy I get with some of this stuff. So the beat that you were just playing, the Angel Outlaw track.
Yes. The one we just talked about.
Yeah. So I'm obviously a huge fan of Black Milk. Black Milk's first solo record, Popular Demand. I think that was his first solo record. The intro to Popular Demand. No,
Sound of the City was his first one.
Okay.
Then it was Popular Demand.
Popular Demand, okay. So the intro to Popular Demand, so like there's this bass line that happens when the beat drops. And it's 16 straight bars of this 808 that never loops. It's just like it's a very unique like bass line that's 16 bars long, the whole first verse, and it doesn't loop at all. And I was fixated on that. I'm like, bro, how did he do that? Like he's obviously a great musician as well, but producers weren't doing stuff like that. Like it was always a 4-bar loop or a 2-bar loop or something like that. So I tried my hand at that in the Angel Outlaw beat, and like the bass line for that first verse is 16 straight bars of just not changing at all. And like these little subtle producer Easter eggs that don't nobody care about except for me. Like they're all.
What beat is that on Popular Demand?
I think it's the first. I think it's called Popular Demand.
I think it's the song Popular Demand?
Yeah, I think it's the first one.
This one? Yeah. Let's play it. I got the whole instrumental album.
Let me see.
When it comes to Black Milk, Jay Dill or something, I got the whole album.
Yeah, man, Black Milk. I had the pleasure of meeting
I got the wax of them too somewhere at the crib.
A few times. He was,
but when he got an MP. He be killing that MPC too. Black Milk's a beast.
No, he's a problem. Yeah, this is
all right. This is it. Okay.
God, this beat is so fire.
Black Milk's fire. What up, Black Milk?
Definitely.
Just listen to the bass. It does not change for 16 bars, or it keeps changing.
And that's the way he started his album.
Take you out to Hir-O producer school.
Hey, dog.
Kendrick.
That's sick.
Not Jay Dilla. I'm sorry. Flying Lotus does something similar. Actually, it's
Hir-O next to me, guys.
It's Thundercat who does on Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. He does something similar.
Thundercat's sick.
Have
you heard the DJ Quick album with Problem?
I'm not up on it.
Bro, the Thundercat stuff on there is crazy. The new DJ Quick is awesome, bro. The beats on it are talk about mixing, talk about recording. That right there is like school recording. DJ Quick is something else. That dude is a top-notch engineer.
That's fire.
And he one of the dudes that can produce beats, rap, all that stuff, at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, let's play something you guys got. You know what? Let's play that. We've been playing the heck out of that song. Let's get into the song that we've been blazing like crazy. The Hyper Combo joint. We got to. Because Hyper Combo is dope. I mean, it's now. How did you guys figure to get your boy Elzai on this one?
That's all.
Now we talked about Elzai working with you before with Valid, and Valid kind of put that together.
For sure. So I'm gonna let him tell the story. I'm gonna just tell you this.
Noveliss, what do you got to tell us about this, bro?
Let me just say this first. All I'll say is that it would not have mattered. He could have burped on the track, and we would have been like, "Yo, let's go." But the fact that he did what he did,
dude, he did a great verse,
man.
And he played off. Okay, was your verse wrote first?
Yeah.
So he heard your verse.
Yeah.
That's the the crazy part.
That's part of, so Elzai is one of my top 5 favorite MCs of all time. And, this has been a feature that we've been trying to get for a while. Long story short, I ran into him out doing this festival in Boston, and we kicked it, and we really connected out there, and kind of, that's how this happened. And I sent him this song, and he sent back the verse, which is incredible. And then the song's about fighting games, right? It's about Marvel versus Capcom. So
it is too. It's
so
dope.
For him to do the verse, the caliber of verse that he sent back. There's 2 questions. Me and Hiro are like, does he play fighting games or does he not? And did he just do a lot of homework to make this legendary verse, right?
Either way.
So either way, it was incredible.
I think when it comes to Marvel versus Capcom, even like a person who don't play a lot of games and fighting games play that game. That game's cold. Like you could be walking through the bowling alley, bro, and see it, and you'd play it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got the old version of it. I remember back when it first came out. Now it's crazy. Now they got it's like on Monster Energy now. But before, you know what I'm saying? Like that game's awesome because you got a mix of all kinds of different. You get Capcom and Marvel mixed together, and then you can play them both.
Yeah. Actually, so I got some insider knowledge. Shout out to his younger brother, Cloudy. We got a chance to chop it up with him, and he flat out was like, "No, like he does not play video games.
No,
he just sat down and like just did his research, which is crazy. It's crazy because like it shows, and just shout out to him, man. We're super grateful. We love to do more work with him, obviously, but it shows that he respects us and he respects the art.
Oh, he respects the craft for sure. He respects
the craft, man.
He's a lyricist. I mean, his pen game is like. That's like what he had. Like somebody like Elzai, that's every last rhyme he wrote is gonna be dope.
Yeah,
that's how that's like Nas.
Yeah.
Nas when he gets on a track with somebody, he does his homework. You can hear it, and he doesn't want to disrespect the art.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I got that caliber MC is another beast.
Yeah, agreed.
For real. Well, let's play that song, and we'll play a couple more tracks. We got let's see. I have you debut the next song in a second, but we'll get into this right now. Let's rock it out, man. This song is mad dope. And you've heard it a whole bunch of times on Beast of the Rhymes.